What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports 200 Show. And on today's video, I will be continuing my series of doing a 7-round mock draft for each NFL team. I literally just got one finished with the Green Bay Packers, so make sure to go check that out. So today's video is a 7-round mock draft of the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills were quite a surprise team this past season. You're going to the AFC Championship game. It's a very successful season for Buffalo. And, there's a couple, potential different positions Buffalo could take in round one. Because I have their 30th pick overall, so I will go ahead and get started here. With their first round pick, I had them taking Samuel Cosmi, offensive tackle from Texas University. Offensive tackle is a team need for them. Cosmi will be one of the top players available here. Something to keep in mind, I do all these mock drafts from Pro Football Network's mock draft simulator. I do not dictate, what players, fall or reaches, where they're at. It's not even guaranteed that Cosmi will be at 30, but I really, really like this pick. If he's not there, maybe somebody like Tevin Jenkins or so, something like that. But Cosmi, to me, I think he's better than Jenkins. I think he'll be the best player available here. Anytime you have an opportunity to get a team need, and they're also the best player available, you always have to do that. And I think that's exactly what Buffalo did there in round one. And I think, he would start right away for Buffalo. I think that's a phenomenal pick there in the first round. So in the second round, I had them taking edge rusher Patrick Jones from Pittsburgh. Patrick Jones is one of my favorite edge rushers in the draft. And his projections are very interesting. I've seen some, even in the first, and I've seen also some in the fourth. This really depends, how people view the edge rushing class because it's so talented. There's going to be lots of, mixed rankings with everybody. But to me, the Buffalo Bills could use edge rusher Patrick Jones, in my opinion, even around, 30 or so. Maybe as we get close to the draft, I wouldn't be totally against if I'm the Buffalo Bills fan getting Patrick Jones at 30 because we're maybe trading back around maybe 35 or so. I believe Patrick Jones is definitely a second-round pick, definitely a top 40 pick or so in the draft. And he's one of my favorite. Really like Carlos Basham from Wake Forest, but I doubt he'll be there with the 61st pick overall. So I love that pick for Buffalo in round two. If you're just tuning in, doing a Buffalo Bills 7-round mock draft live on YouTube, like all the videos I do. So in the third round here, I have them taking Syracuse cornerback Trill Williams. They could really use corner. Trill Williams, to me, is probably the best tackler as a corner. And I think it makes a lot of sense. A month or so ago, he was projected in the fifth. I'm seeing some now, maybe even in the third. And I have him in the third with a 93rd overall pick. I think Trill Williams is a really underrated corner, and from Syracuse, he's not really getting the credit he deserves, in my opinion. If it's a team need, it may be a tad bit of a reach here by Buffalo in the third round, but personally, I really like Trill Williams there. So Buffalo does not have a fourth-round pick. They do have two fifth-round picks. So with their first fifth-round pick, I have them taking Caden Burns, the safety from Texas University. We already took one Texas player in Samuel Cosmi. We take another one here with Stearns. They could use safety. Caden Stearns, to me, is really underrated safety from Texas. I think this is probably about where he's projected to go in the draft. In the fifth round, they could use tight end. I know they have Dawson Knox and some other tight ends, but none of those guys are really great. Around here, I want to be against Quentin Morris and Bowling Green. But Caden Stearns there in the fifth round. I mentioned tight end and Quentin Morris and Bowling Green. They have two fifth-round picks, like I mentioned. So with this second fifth-round pick, I actually have them taking a tight end, Trey McKinney, the tight end from Georgia. McKinney's one of the more underrated tight ends, along with Quentin Morris. And like I said, they could use another tight end, more depth position. I think that'd be a really good pick there. Hope that's probably be about where he will go in the draft. So I think that could make quite a bit of sense there for Buffalo. So I have Trey McKinney there in the 5th. They have 1 6th and 1 7th. With their 6th round pick, I have them taking Jonathan Adams Jr., the wide receiver from Arkansas State. Adams absolutely lit up Kansas State earlier this past season. Multiple touchdowns, around 100 yards. He was absolutely phenomenal. I think he's one of the more underrated wide receivers, and he's not getting enough credit because he played at a small school like Arkansas State. I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen some mock drafts, him not even be drafted, but I wouldn't be surprised if Adams maybe goes a little bit earlier than a 211th pick here. I really, really like him a lot. I think he's extremely underrated. And, they have some nice wide receivers in Buffalo, but they did just release John Brown. It saved them $8 million. And they have Stephon Diggs, but they could really use more weapons. So I really like Jonathan Adams Jr. there in the 6th round from Arkansas State. And like I said, they have 1 7th round pick. And like I also said, they recently released John Brown. So with their 7th round pick, I have them taking another wide receiver, and Trey Walker, the wide receiver from San Jose State. Walker, in my opinion, is one of the more underrated wide receivers the past 2 seasons. Trey Walker has had over 2,000 receiving yards at San Jose State. He's going to be a slot receiver in the NFL. He can maybe fill that void, with John Brown out of the offense down in Buffalo because he was their slot receiver. I think it could make quite a bit of sense if they take Trey Walker here in the 7th, especially, a guy who I've seen some being undrafted, but, if Trey Walker's there in the 7th, in my opinion, you definitely take him because I think, it's a low-risk, extremely high-reward type of situation. But I really, really like Trey Walker, the wide receiver from San Jose State there in the 7th round. So that was kind of my Buffalo Bills 7th round mock draft. I'll go over these picks one more time here. In the 1st round, I'll tackle from Texas, David Cosmi. In the 2nd, Patrick Jones, the edge rusher from Pittsburgh. In the 3rd, corner Trill Williams. They do not have a 4th round pick, but in the 5th, they take Caden Stearns, the safety from Texas. Also in the 5th, they take tight end from Georgia, Trey McKinney. In the 6th, they take Jonathan Adams Jr., the wide receiver from Arkansas State. And with their 7th round pick and their last pick of the draft, they take Trey Walker, the wide receiver from San Jose State. Thank you all so much for listening. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next time on the Sports 200.